In this demonstration, I will explain the chemical reactions that come in an experiment of mixtures. In the lava lamp lab, we discover the chemical reactions that took place as water, vegetable oil, dye, and an Alka-Seltzer tablet were mixed. First up, the mysteries of the Alka-Seltzer tablet. The Alka-Seltzer tablet is both a compound and a molecule because it has more than 2 atoms. It consists of H17, which is 17 hydrogen atoms, C16, which is 16 carbon atoms, Na, which is 1 sodium atom, and oxygen 14, which is 14 oxygen atoms. The Alka-Seltzer tablet is a solid. The Alka-Seltzer tablet is a solid that is made up of baking powder, which has ingredients like citric acid and sodium bicarbonate to create a bubbling chemical reaction when inserted into a liquid. Bicarbonate sodium is a salt composed of sodium and of bicarbonate atoms. The Alka-Seltzer tablet is also used in everyday life, not just experiments. It is pretty much Tums, but on steroids. It consists of aspirin, which is a very common pain reliever. Alka-Seltzer tablets are used frequently for relieving pain within the body. Due to a few of these ingredients, when the Alka-Seltzer tablet is inserted into the lava lamp concoction of water, dye, and vegetable oil, it bubbles lava lamp-like motions within the bottle. And these bubbles are made of gas. Next, the dye. The dye seemed to have a sort of thick, opaque feeling and color, but not high viscosity. The dye in the concoction, when inserted, sank down to the bottom and mixed with the water. This is due to the higher density than it has over vegetable oil. It mixed with the water as a homogeneous mixture and just passed right through the vegetable oil when it dropped in. There are no ingredients within the dye that would influence this. It is just the level of density it has over vegetable oil. The dye, unlike the Alka-Seltzer tablet, is not a compound nor a molecule, but it is a substance that is made up of many different ingredients. Now, the vegetable oil. The vegetable oil had a very thick, greenish yellow color, and what seemed to have a very high viscosity, but was also translucent. When we poured the vegetable oil on top of the water through the funnel, it sat right on top. This is called a suspension. It is a heterogeneous mixture that is very easy to physically separate. The reason it sat on top of the water is due to its lower density, not as compact as water. So instead of sinking lower or mixing with the water, it sits right on top because it didn't have equal or heavier density than the water did. More proof of this is when the dye just traveled straight through the vegetable oil and mixed with the water instead of mixing with the vegetable oil. This is due to the higher density that the dye has over the vegetable oil, but the equal density it has with water, which is why it mixed. Finally, the actual water itself, otherwise known as its in compound and molecule form, H2O. This means it has 2 hydrogen atoms and only 1 oxygen atom in the water. The vegetable oil was not a compound or a molecule, but it was just a substance that was made up of different ingredients. The water was a very clear, transparent liquid that did not seem to have the highest viscosity and was very light and thin, but did have a high density. The water in this experiment sunk below the vegetable oil, proving its higher density. This helped what we called earlier as a suspension when the oil rised on top of the water. The water was the base of the entire lava lamp experiment and is what held up the vegetable oil. Overall, as the experiment took place when we were building the lava lamp, due to our knowledge on mixtures, not pure substances, but mixtures, compounds, molecules, and matter in general, the experiment was understood by me and my classmates, and I am now able to demonstrate as I just did.